What is going on, everybody? This is another live edition of Real Steel Sports on Spreaker Web Radio. I am your host, James Krasnerick, and I hope you're having a great week. Friday's just about to end, Saturday's just about to come upon us, which means the weekend is officially here. And, well, in the NFL, it's one of the biggest weekends of the year. It is Conference Championship weekend. And the games we are going to see are going to feature some very different teams. We got the Seahawks and the Packers in the NFC title game, and we got the Patriots and the Colts in the AFC title game. But I'm going to start with this one right here, Indianapolis at New England. I think in this game, first off, let's look at the recent head-to-head, because it has not been very kind to to Indianapolis. The last three meetings, which were all in the Andrew Luck era, the Colts have been giving up 48 points a game to New England and have been scoring 22. Throw those games out the fucking window. And here's my reasoning for saying that, because I've watched the Colts play defense in this playoffs run, and I know that Manning was hobbled and Andy Dalton is Andy Dalton. I get that. But what I was so impressed by with Indianapolis in the two playoff wins, especially against the Broncos, was the amount of pressure they were able to put on Peyton Manning. And the fact that they were able to rush Peyton up the middle and confuse him a lot in this game. Now, if Peyton Manning was, how am I going to put this, not so hampered by his injury, wouldn't have been a problem. But Peyton went 26 of 46, and you can attribute a lot of that to the pressure put up the middle, which was led by Jonathan Newsom and Eric Walden. Again, the Indianapolis Colts, their head coach is Chuck Pagano. I believe John Pagano is the name of the defensive coordinator at San Diego. He has had some masterful game plans in the past against Peyton Manning as the defensive coordinator down there. And also, you got to keep in mind that the Colts even stated that when they played the Broncos, they used a lot of the game format, not so much the format, the game plan that the Seahawks used in the Super Bowl the previous year, which tells me that had Denver been healthy and made it to the Super Bowl and played Seattle again, we'd have probably seen something similar. But the point is this. Indianapolis is a team right now that is playing better on defense. I mean, if you look at what they've been doing the last few games, and not even counting this game, like, if you take away the Dallas debacle, their defense has been playing extremely well. So I give them a ton of credit for what they've been able to accomplish over these last few weeks. Fast forwarding that, the Colts are bringing the number 6 ranked scoring offense in the NFL, 28.6 points per game. They're bringing the 19th ranked scoring defense, 23 points a game. They are number 1 across the board in attempts, yards, and touchdowns, and they are currently third in total yards as well. The running game has been kind of lax, but over their last 5 games, the Colts have hit 99 yards 3 times, and earlier this year against New England, they did give up a lot of rushing yards, but the way they've been clamping down lately between Denver and Cincinnati has been very impressive. Andrew Luck, league leader in 40 touchdown passes, completing over 61% of his passes, 4,700 yards. Trent Richardson and Ahmad Bradshaw, neither of them are playing right now. They're the top 2 running backs for Indianapolis. Zerlon Tipton has been the main guy in the playoffs, along with Dan Herron. As for receivers go, they got T.Y. Hilton, one of the best in the game. Reggie Wayne, who's one of the most underrated great wide receivers you've ever seen. The tight end duo of Dwayne Allen and Coby Fleener, who was a college roommate of Andrew Luck at Stanford, has been extremely efficient so far this year, as they have combined for over 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns. Defense, they bring a defense in that registered 40 sacks on the year, a very respectable total, led by Jonathan Newsom and Eric Walden. A good pickup they had a couple years ago was inside linebacker DeQuell Jackson, who's played remarkably well in his position in the inside linebacker position. The Colts right now are a very good football team. They're playing very consistently. Their turnover count has been completely decimated compared to what they used to be. Because if you look at the 3 games between Cleveland, Houston, and Dallas, that 3-game stretch, they had 9 turnovers. The last 3 games they've had 3 turnovers, and they've won all 3. They are playing very good, very clean football right now, and that is a big reason why they are in the AFC Championship. Their opponent will be a familiar one if you're used to watching conference championship games. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, the quarterback-coach combination of the Patriots, is set to start their 9th AFC Championship game as coach and quarterback. They're currently bringing in the number 4 ranked scoring offense, 29 points a game, and their defense has really picked up this year versus years past. They're giving up 19.6 points per game, which is 8th in the league. In terms of total offense, they are 5th in passing touchdowns, 9th in passing yardage, 18th in rushing yardage. So overall, they bottom out as 10th in total yardage. A little bit down from what they're usually accustomed to. But if you look at the season that the players, their skill position players have had, it's been very impressive. Tom Brady, again, another stellar season, voted to the Pro Bowl, 33 touchdowns, 9 picks, completing over 64% of his passes. Rob Gronkowski, coming off his injury to have the best season of any tight end in the league this year, 82 catches, over 1,100 yards, and 12 scores. He has been just dangerous this year. He's making plays with one hand. He's playing just as good as he did before he got injured the last couple years. Julian Edelman and Brandon LaFell, both respectable seasons out of those two wide receivers at 28 years old. Edelman and LaFell with over 900 yards receiving. LaFell with 7 receiving touchdowns, Edelman with 4. The Patriots are bringing in a defense that is, again, significantly improved from years past. They are tied with Indianapolis as they both have 40 sacks. Rob Ninkovich, Dante Hightower, and Chandler Jones, the leading sackers. Chandler Jones did not play the game earlier this year against Indianapolis, so he's something they're going to have to prepare for. And the secondary, with all-pro signing of Darrelle Revis at cornerback, I have to say that was one of the best pickups of the offseason because he has completely shut down that side of the football field. Teams trying to throw against him are having no luck at all. Overall, the Patriots are a team playing very clean football, and if you look at the way that's bolstered, just look at their turnover differential. They're plus 12, which is second in the league this year to Green Bay. Very impressive. So when we talk about this game, we kind of have to break it down and talk about how it matches up on the field. Let's start off with Indianapolis' offense versus New England's defense. New England is a kind of team that does not set anything. They will use whatever formation, whatever spread they feel gives them the best chance of stopping their opponent. Like the Steelers are mostly strict 3-4, or the Giants and the Lions are 4-3, those kind of things. They're set in their ways. The Patriots, it says they run a 4-3, but it's kind of like a hybrid scheme. Bill Belichick's been doing that for years. Look at the Super Bowl against the Eagles, which will be 10 years ago this February. They were running a 3-4 all season long. He came out of 4-3 alignment, and it confused the hell out of Donovan McNabb. Fast forward now to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a team that favors the pass heavily because I know that Dan Herron and Zerlon Tipton have combined to have very, very successful outings in the playoffs against the Bengals and against the Broncos, two teams with very stingy run defenses. But New England's not going to let them run the footballs effectively. I'd be shocked because the one thing that has been the constant in the games between the Colts and the Patriots in the Andrew Luck era is the fact that Luck has thrown a lot of interceptions. I mean, I believe he threw 4 in the first game he played against him in 2012, his rookie year. I know he threw 4 in the playoff game last year, and I believe he threw 3, I want to say, in the game earlier this year. I'm actually going to check that to see if I'm right. He threw 1 against them this year. I'm incorrect. But against New England in general, Andrew Luck has struggled throwing far more interceptions and touchdowns. I don't look for that so much to be a similar script this game. I believe that in this game, I think Andrew Luck's going to play better. And I think the reason why is because I think that win over the Broncos in Denver, not so much that he beat Peyton, but the fact that he went against the Broncos defense, which I believe is very, very much superior to New England's in terms of pass rush, in terms of secondary. Because you strip Revis and Aqib Talib from these two secondaries, the Broncos got him beat. Andrew Luck went out, and although he threw 2 interceptions, he played a very smart game. He was very, very tactical. He drove them down the field. He kept the ball moving. He kept Peyton Manning on the bench. They can run an offense scheme similar to that. They'll beat New England. Now, the one matchup that's going to be key to watch is what's going to happen and who Darrelle Revis is going to cover. Because is he going to cover T.Y. Hilton and try to take away the big play? Or is he going to try to cover Reggie Wayne and avoid the shiftiest, quickest, not fastest, but smartest receiver on that team? See, the way I look at the Patriots linebackers is, if you look at their starting team, look at who's been starting the most games this year for this football team. You look at Jamie Collins, you look at their linebacking core with Dante Hightower. They're going to be at a disadvantage against Kobe Fleener and Dwayne Allen because those two tight ends are pretty big and they can use their bodies very well to make catches. So it's going to be tough for New England to match up against them. I'm looking for Indianapolis in this game to definitely put up more points than they did in the season. In the game earlier in the season. I think that they are definitely going to play better on offense. I think Pagano's going to have this team ready, and the way the matchups are is this. Indy's got some advantages. The one disadvantage, though, is they don't know about Revis Island, and the fact that where Darrelle Revis is going to line up and who he's going to cover. Because let's put it this way. If he's on T.Y. Hilton or Reggie Wayne, you can just pretty much kiss them goodbye for the rest of the game. But ultimately, the way that it's set up, Indianapolis has got a really good chance to score some points in this game. Now, points are something that the Patriots know all about scoring. This team has been, the last 7-8 years, just on a tear with how they've been scoring points. Look at the 2007 team that broke the scoring record with 589 points in the regular season. Then you look at 2010, leading the league again. 2011, one of the best scoring offenses. 2012, and now this year. They know how to put up points. And the Colts' defense is going to be at a disadvantage, but not as big a disadvantage as you'd think. Like, I watched a lot of the game between Denver and Indianapolis, and what I did notice is that Indianapolis did succeed at pressuring Peyton Manning up the middle. Now, the king about Tom Brady is this. The reason why his whole career, teams like the Steelers, the Texans, that favor edge pass rushers struggle against Brady is because the offensive lineman can just redirect them. Brady steps up in the pocket, finds his tight ends and his wide receivers downfield. I mean, look at Brady's head-to-head record in his pass rating against the Steelers. And these are the Steeler defenses that were good, like in the mid to late 2000s, early 2010s. Those are some good Steeler defenses, and he hung them out to dry. The 4-3 schemes that favor interior pass rush have had much more success. Even the 3-4 schemes, like let's look at the Chiefs can get interior pressure. Who else can? The Colts can get somewhat interior pressure. I saw a lot of it against Denver. And Green Bay was able to get some interior pressure on Tom Brady as well. He didn't have a great game in Green Bay earlier this year. The bottom line is that the Ravens also were able to do that as well. You pressure Brady on the edge and he can step up, forget about it. You pressure Brady up the middle and make him have to think and get on his back foot, you're going to win. Because Brady is significantly more inaccurate when he has to think and he's got to back up and throw the football. Now look at the weapons he's got. Brandon LaFell and Julian Edelman, they're going to have their 3, 4, 5 catches. They're going to do those kind of things underneath. They're going to get their yards. But Vontae Davis should be able to take care of either Edelman or LaFell for much of the game because he's one of the best corners in this game for Indy. But the matchup that they are going to have a lot of problems with is Rob Gronkowski because he is so big and he is so fast. If you look at the game earlier this year that the Patriots beat the Colts, Gronk had 4 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown. Look for Gronk to beat that total this game because the Colts, they're already a little thinner at linebacker. But again, the fact that Gronkowski always plays better, it seems, in New England in these big games is just huge because you look at the games he's played against the Colts in New England. You look at the games that he's played in general in his career in New England versus on the road. He's always played better at home. And there's not a guy on that Colts defense that can really match up with him. The only hope, in my opinion, is that Chuck Pagano can pull another defensive masterpiece out of his ass and they can at least hold the Patriots down just enough to score enough points to win. I think it's doable, but it's borderline impossible, especially in New England. The thing about it is, if you look up and down the board, New England is the better team on both offense and on defense. And on special teams. Well, special teams is kind of a push because Vinatieri had an almost perfect season. But a little bit of statistical history for you guys. Adam Vinatieri's teams are 5-0 in conference championship games. The 2 with the Colts and the 3 with the Patriots. That's kind of interesting. Ultimately, here's how I see this game. I see the Patriots getting off to a quicker start. I see them coming out of the gates, getting up tempo, and getting the ball down the field to Gronk and LaFell and making some big plays. I say they'll probably have maybe like a 7-point, a touchdown lead going into halftime. But I think in the third and fourth quarter, their superior run game is going to take over. I do. I think they can be able to grind the clock a little bit. I think Brady will get his 300 yards and his 3 touchdown passes. Luck's going to have a better game than he had in the regular season and in the past in New England, like the 2 horrendous games in 2012 and then the 2013 playoff game. But I don't think it's going to be enough. And the reason why that I don't think it's going to be enough is this. Tom Brady can hand the ball off and not have to worry about his guys getting 5-6 yards. Andrew Luck doesn't have that luxury. He's got to literally be the Colts offense tomorrow on Sunday. Looking at it from the standpoint of the defenses have been playing very well lately. However, the warning sign is that the Patriots did give up 31 points to the Ravens. And I'm not necessarily so sure I would pick Joe Flacco in the same league as Andrew Luck. I know Flacco's got a Super Bowl and Luck doesn't, but still. I got to say that's kind of a push. So if that's any indication, and the Colts watch some of that game tape, they could very well find some weaknesses in the Patriots' defense. But ultimately, I don't see enough defense weaknesses on New England to lose this game. I think New England will probably win this game maybe 34-27, something like that. I think it'll be a higher scoring game. I think Brady's going to get his yards and his touchdowns. I think Luck will as well. But I just feel that the superior mind of Bill Belichick will come through. And I think that will send the Patriots under Brady and Belichick to their 6th Super Bowl. So that's pretty much I got for this segment. I'm picking the Patriots to defeat the Colts 34-27. I hope you guys enjoy what I've had to say. I'll be coming back very shortly for my opinion on the NFC Championship game.